review is an understanding of ability. The review understands the difference between those working in the community shows, academic productions, passion projects, semi and professional shows. This understanding is another lens that the reviewer brings to the show. And that's really, really true. I don't know about you, but I certainly go to a community production, to a university production, differently than I go to Theatre Calgary and Alberta Theatre projects, and yes. And I even go differently to Stage West than I do to Theatre Calgary and Alberta Theatre projects. It's a different experience. It's a, you know, as a director for those shows, you're aware when you're directing it that there's that audience out there is still going to have their dessert or their, you know, their drinks with them. It's a different audience than if you're at, mind you, now they're allowing people to bring drinks into and food. My gosh, the number of people eating potato chips at Theatre Calgary, I can't believe it.
I know, the noise pollution.
Yes, yes.
I think for me, the caveat is in community theatre when I see people who still haven't put the work in. And I feel like there's an expectation that I'm supposed to overlook certain things, and I just
refuse to.
Refuse to.
Yeah, no, and that whole thing of, well, you're coming opening night, we're not ready yet. Yeah, yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. You know, I've had people in communities, well, if you'd have seen it on closing night, it was fantastic. No, sorry. People are paying the same amount of money opening night as closing night. And I don't know if you were old enough to remember when in community theater that closing night was the night you played tricks on everybody.
Yes, yes.
And that is something I have, in every one of my productions, I said, if you do that, that's it. You will never work in one of my productions again. Because that's not fair to the audience. They're paying good money to see you fooling around on stage.
Yeah.
And that used to be, I mean, that used to be the thing. People, yeah, they used to put real liquor in the yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between being incredibly amateur. If you're an amateur, you're doing that, but you can be in community theatre and not be an amateur.
And you know what? That when I work in community theatre, that's the thing that I stress, is that you've got to be as professional as you possibly can. Yeah. And you always want to put in the one or two really strong actors, because they will raise the level of everyone else. And that is their job, is to raise the level of so that when reviewers go to see those plays, what you're seeing is still as good as they can possibly be. Give your audience 100%. Yes.
The one thing I have decided after, I don't know at what point it was, after 5 years in, I decided not to review people producing plays under the age of 18. I just thought that was not worth either my time or their time yet, that they weren't ready to hear what I have to say. And
they wouldn't take it.
And they wouldn't take it.
No, they because they still have that view of themselves, that, yes.
And it's interesting, we focus in our community a lot on mansplaining, but there's a lot of youth-splaining that happens where I'm being schooled as an older audience member, which is just a barrier for...
Yeah, well, the old church basement theater as well, where people literally went out, and that's a whole different kettle of fish, to have fun. They went to do the... Yes, you should have fun doing a play, but that shouldn't be the object of it.
Yeah.
When you're cast in a play, your job is to give this production the best possible, and so that when audiences come and see it, they're blown away by it. They go, "Wow, that was really good," and for that price, because you got to be very careful now. Theater's getting expensive.
Yes.
You know, the old days of charging $10. You can't do that. You know, $30 is about break even. So anybody under, you know, doing the $25 a thing, they're still giving you really good value. But people still want the $20 tickets for community theater. And they don't realize that the community theater still has to pay royalties for those plays. They have to pay for rental for the theaters. They have to pay all of that. And they have to break even.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. You can't pass the hat anymore.
Nope.